Hello and welcome to this video where I react to Nick is Not Green's video on the worst comedian on YouTube. So let's go ahead, give Nick is Not Green a subscribe, and let's go ahead to a video about a YouTuber named Snowy Joe.
Hi, happy Monday. I've started beef. Well, not really. It's less of like a prime rib and more of a roast beef sandwich from Jimmy John's. A few weeks ago on my second channel, I made a video about YouTube Snowy Joe, an 18-year-old from England who likes making videos with his British pals. After gaining some fame on TikTok, he started to make some videos on YouTube, gaining an audience around the same time.
TikTok to YouTube.
Audience around the same time I did in the beginning of 2021. In that time, he made a flurry of videos, usually with the attempt to make somebody angry. Now let's back up a second and talk about my personal relationship with the guy.
Yeah.
I made a video on my
Those kind of YouTube channels. Yeah.
second channel about him pulling an epic prank on the trans community, where he
Actually, interesting. I watched that video, and it is a complete rip-off of Niko, a other British YouTuber, who did a video on the EDL. So this piece of shit looked at, someone going and making fun of racists and went, how about I make fun of the trans community? What the? Who has that psychology? Same sort of footfalls, fell into made a YouTube channel to be like, see, I'm recording for this, and it was a racist YouTube channel. It was like, see, this is why I'm allowed to record, that kind of thing. Same thing, but for pride. So you're pulling a you don't like the racists on a pride parade. Who does that? Who does that? I might take a look at the video sometimes on the reaction thing, but like seriously, it was like a rip-off. Jesus Christ, like my god, this fella is ripping off other YouTubers, just saying. So not only is he, transphobe, but also
where he dressed up in pride gear and just normally interviewed people there. Usually in a pretty annoying way, but pretty awesome, right? Well, in response, he had quite a lot to say on Twitter with a very sad amount of people to back it up. Roll the clip.
Makes no sense. Transphobia isn't humor. What's transphobia? What? I don't know. The transphobia, like, pretty basic. Also, that's not dark humor. Dark humor is about dark topics like death and suffering. That's you treating people like shit. It's the equivalent of someone making a racist joke. Guess what? It's racist. Only thick people and people who aren't affected by that are going to find it funny, because I don't know, maybe it's something about the fact that it's not accurate. Might be the thing. So that's not dark humor. There's a difference between edgy and dark, you do understand. Like, and then there's a difference between just something that isn't humor, that's just like bullying, Like, bullies find what they're doing very amusing. I see it all the time. Someone's bullying someone, it's very funny to everyone. But a few people who are being bullied, and also some people are like, don't really think that's good. That kind of thing. But it's very funny to a lot of people. They find it very amusing. It's a lot of fun to them. Ha ha ha. The thing is, though, they're still bullying someone. So humor isn't an excuse. And also, that's not dark humor. Anyway. Yeah, it was like him. What? If they didn't want to be filmed, it's illegal to film someone without their consent. Yeah, it's illegal to film someone without their consent, without their permission. Now, some people get around it by getting people to sign an agreement that they can record them, and then they do a big ha 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 ha. It actually wasn't for a reality TV show where you have the chance to win $1 million. It's actually so we can make fun of you to your entire family and all the rest of the world. Yeah, you did sign that agreement, so yeah, that is legally binding. which is dodgy, but it is legally okay, but that is not legally okay.
Now, I found that unfunny trans parade prank after just scrolling through his YouTube channel once someone recommended it to me so I could make a video about it, but I decided to go even further and see what else I could find. Joe has a pretty positive reception to most of his videos, and when I see that kind of support for someone who seems so impressively stupid, I just gotta go check it out for myself. Now let's start with feminism. Snowy Joe has this very special hatred for female empowerment. You can see it.
Why? Like, once you start going out around, you sound like an incel. And incels are just incredibly sad people. Like, just incredibly. You go, yeah, just because no one wants to have sex. You know, there is an option of, like, you just don't have sex with people because, you know, ultimately, the route you're going down leads to a crime. A very serious one. One where you can be killed for it. In many countries by the state, and in, you know, many countries by, you know, people who aren't so happy with you. You know, that kind of thing. It's really kind of dodgy behavior to be to be against feminism. It's like, oh, a lot of people down that route, oh, yeah, they really aren't nice people, and a lot of them have committed crimes or want to, so... Just saying.
See it throughout his channel where he tries constantly to just dunk on women. In this TikTok here, you can see him joining a feminist Discord server with his friends to yell at girls about how ridiculous it is to have all these genders.
There's about 54 genders.
54.
Yeah. Katie, we say look.
How many genders are there? How many genders are there?
There are only males. Female.
There are only one. Okay, that's just terrible grammar. Also false, because I know, big shocker, but gender is actually a social construct. So basically, buddy, no, that's factually not true, because you see, that's not how, you know, life works. Like, you see, basically, when human beings are in the world and they decide to build a community together, there are certain things that are facts, and one of those things is typically, in this world at least, that we do have more than one gender. We do have more than two, actually, so big shock. But yeah, you know, other people do exist beyond yourself, you selfish moron, and self-obsessed as well.
On the far left we have the female. In the middle we have the losers who couldn't form a relationship in secondary school.
Do you know what a relationship is? Like, you have relationships with friends, you have relationships with family members, you have relationships that are more intimate. So they couldn't form a relationship in secondary school is ultimately, you know, wrong, because you've got bad relationships. So some things, like, for example, if someone regularly beats you up, that's technically a relationship. Not a good one, but, you know, the point is, you know, I think they can. So they wouldn't really be losers. They'd be somewhat of a oddity who'd be, you know, not around other humans, maybe, is what you're saying. And that's just weird. Like, how would you know to talk about that?
And on the far right we have a male, proving that men have...
Far right. Interesting. You're putting men on the far right where the fascists are. Interesting.
Have rights and women don't.
Okay, where is he going with this?
Of course, the funny joke in this TikTok is that there's only one gender that should have rights, and that's male. And that
is that a joke, or is that just being a fucking idiot?
That's supposed to get feminists all riled up, but is it really the feminists getting riled up when you and your friends are just bursting at the seams trying to talk over normal people? Oh, and we can't forget the time when he made this epic knock-knock joke. This one really shows Snowy Joe's comedy chops. Check this out.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Impatient feminist.
Impatient.
Why don't we have equal pay yet?
That's not impatient. You know, for example, if someone has you in their basement and they're sawing off your leg, you know, it wouldn't be them being impatient for them to ask you to stop. It's not impatient to ask someone, could you possibly not, discriminate unnecessarily, like just cause pain for apparently sadistic reasons, that kind of thing. Why is that the way? That's not impatient. That's that person not doing the good thing, you see? The thing they should be doing. That's the person taking away the rights, the person who is not letting you have the rights. That's them being a horrible moron who ultimately,
Sorry, Emily, sorry.
Okay, I know I'm just showing you TikTok clips of some really dumb jokes, but I want to show you one really good joke that Joe made. I won't let you down this time. We're just going to watch the whole thing from beginning to end.
Oh no, not this. There was a YouTuber who pointed this out as why men who want to make, videos where they portray a woman, instead of, wearing a wig to stimulate long hair, they wear things like towels. For some reason. I mean, wigs are an option, So, like, you could wear them instead, like, you don't need to just wear your pants.
I was just laughing for weeks. A real
Right. If that's your perception of women, I hate to think what you do, or what. Like, I mean, maybe it's not your fault. Maybe it's the people around you that are making all the people cry themselves to sleep. But see, basically, what that is people being horrible around people. Once again, if your leg was being sawn into in a basement, it wouldn't be very nice, and you might have a lot of tears to shed over that. Like you'd expect to have. But obviously, if they weren't doing that, and life wasn't a horrible thing that ended in misery and we're all going to die someday and ultimately the world is going to collapse, then obviously you wouldn't tend to cry in that scenario. So basically, maybe I might feel more compassion if, it was the fact that I think it's probably you that's causing all the suffering and pain.
knee slapper that one is. But I just want to jump into one of his full-length YouTube videos. This one is called Trolling Feminists for 24 Hours. So let's dive into what some of Snowy Joe's longer form content is all about. Maybe there's some more nuanced takes. He plays his jokes out in a more clever way. Let's find out. But before we jump into that, I just want to thank our sponsor, HelloFresh. Stop where you are. It's ad time. I'm the #1 hater of cooking my own food. This guy just can't stop and focus. This week, look how good I means less. Use my code nickisnotgreen in this video.
But there are some that take it too far.
Right. Okay, here we are.
And welcome back.
But there are some that take it too far. Radical feminists. Why are they wearing blindfolds? It's not Bird Box, is it? Right, so what is that doing? Is that gonna just cause equality by smashing glass? Brilliant, that.
Okay, this is the reason why I wanted to make this video. Because this is a British man at the age of 18 talking about how smashing glass doesn't get you things when you're being oppressed. Okay, you thick piece of shit. You are a man from England. England has a long history of oppression, and you might know most of those countries had to do a whole lot of fighting, and you had to also do a whole lot of bombing of England to get their independence. That's the thing. A lot of them had to actually hurt England itself, and pretty much all of them had to physically fight the British until they realised yeah, this is costing us a lot. We're out. That's basically sort of it. You know, that kind of thing where people realize, yeah, these people really want independence. We don't want them to have independence. They're never going to give up because, you know, they don't have independence yet. We can give up at any time and just take over another time. So basically, the thing why this really annoys me is because this is a British man not simply realizing the entire history of England's empire is based off violence, and the reason why the majority of countries that are no longer under its empire, although there are obviously still countries that are under its empire, you know, got their independence via violence. America, you know, India, Ireland, all these countries, yeah, all through violent means. Because guess what? I don't know what it's about, but maybe when someone is using violence to oppress you, sometimes you need violence to push them off. For example, that person who's sawing into you in the basement, you see, are you going to ask them very nicely, could you let me free? Or are you going to pick up the bat you can see and then whack their head and then knock them out and run away? I think you're going to choose the option where, you know, they can't just refuse, you know, because that would make sense. So you see, ultimately, the reason why I really, really hate this take is that it's kind of stupid in every sense of the word. You see, even if this here was, you know, living in even like 1920s England, he wouldn't have the right to vote at this time of this moment when he was recording this video, because as far as if he's 18, you weren't allowed to vote at 18 in England, even if you are a man. And you also weren't allowed to vote if you didn't own property. So ultimately, voting rights and oppression has expanded over years, but of course, people are still oppressed. So asking that is like saying, okay, but you wouldn't have the right to vote if this was, you know, 100 years ago. You also wouldn't have the right to vote because if you didn't own property, although, you know, if he makes some of the money out of YouTube and TikTok, who knows? Yeah, who knows? I don't know how, but, you know. Anyway, the point being, basically, that I really hate this take just so much. It's just full of BS, and it literally, like, if things didn't change, he wouldn't have the right to vote either. So, you know.
You know, that's gonna be brilliant. You've got equality, girls. Hey.
He begins the video by telling you about the terrifying epidemic that is radical feminism, and he picks out clips of people destroying property and yelling chants in order to serve you his agenda that women who want equal rights are bad. It's the exact same thing as when your Republican uncle shows you clips on Facebook of someone breaking a window and telling you that Black Lives Matter rallies are taking over your country and everyone just wants to destroy people's property. Now, I experienced the same exact thing when that was going on, and no one in these actual organizations ever condones violence or...
It's not just that, though. It's that ultimately, if you've got a police force that shoots people dead because of the color of their skin, that uses their power to oppress you through violence, well, it'll tend to be the case that you kind of need violence to push them off. Of course, the only problem is now, you know, tactics to do violence upon people has progressed so far that, you know, even someone with a gun can't stand up to the power of a military, because, well, even like loads of people with guns, because the military can put out like armored tanks that are, you know, unmanned to fire missiles to people. So ultimately now we're fucked really if there's an uprising, because yeah, there's gonna be no one to really attack us. Well, that doesn't really matter because you can use automation.
Or the destruction of property, and when it does happen, these groups always denounce it. There's people outside
even if they didn't, though, it wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing. If you're being oppressed, then obviously, I mean, don't oppress people, don't get violence.
These organizations that always use...
But if you are not being oppressed and use violence, no, no, that's not okay.
Use these rallies as an excuse to break the law and make a bad name for the people who are really trying to make a change. Every time you see one of these events happens, it's always shown that it's a peaceful protest, but...
Yeah, that is very similar to a lot of independence movements, where you have groups that want to use violence and like, well, they're using violence against us, and groups that use peaceful means. And ultimately, sometimes peaceful means work, because the issue of violence does rise when it's like, well, if you're not powerful enough, all you're going to do is antagonize them, and there's always an issue there. But that doesn't necessarily mean that using violence is wrong. That means that using violence is not always a good idea, because it will antagonize people. People who before were like, I want to give you rights, and now they're like, I mean, I'm kind of seeing how maybe we should give you rights. And then, oh no, you did violence. No, now I changed my mind. No, we're not gonna give you rights. You know, that kind of thing. But ultimately, that's not because you did violence. That was the reason. It was that people's underlying, you know, problems meant that when they saw violence, that antagonized them to have that reaction. So, you know.
But people seem to gloss over that and not think about the fact that a rally is a really easy excuse for some asshole to show up and break stuff without consequence. But Snowy Joe will do anything to put a bad look on.
It's not even that though. It's the fact that if you oppress someone then yeah, if talking doesn't work, yeah, violence has gotten many oppressed people many things in the past, and that's sort of the point, because violence has also gotten many people oppressed. How do you think you enforce slavery? Violence. And then obviously after that, indoctrination. But you know, how do you think you oppose, you know, independence movements? You use violence. You know, when you can't quieten someone down, when they start riling up like we don't like that, then violence begins to happen. And when you have violence, sometimes violence has to be violence. That's unfortunate, but if you're going to press someone using violence, and if you're not going to budge, even if you're not a person using violence, if you're not going to budge when someone's using peaceful means, sometimes that will lead to violence, and then sometimes in those cases, that violence will lead to independence. That's an unfortunate necessity. That's just human beings' reactions to life. If you don't force them to do something, they won't do it.
On the people that he hates the most, women trying to fight for their rights. He explains how he wanted to go to a place to learn more about feminism, and he takes to the streets of London to learn more. And in true Snowy Joe fashion, he bombards people on the street with his microphone.
First class? Oh, is he a rich boy? Oh, ugh.
To make awesome jokes and act like an idiot while wasting everyone's day.
Equal rights. What about it? What do you think about equal rights?
Of course.
So you don't think there should be equal rights?
Of course there should be equal rights.
I don't know, you know, equal rights are like men and women have like equal pay. You don't think that should happen?
Of course there should have.
Right, so we have someone here that doesn't believe in equal rights.
Oh, come on. Like, oh, that's gonna be attitude. Like, no, seriously, that really
We do believe in equal rights.
The joke in this interview is that he just says the opposite of what this guy would say, so he makes him angry. It's pretty funny, right? This goes on for like 5 times longer than it should. It's 45 seconds of the same exact joke, and that's after he edited it. Oi, bro, you say that you like equality, well...
That accent is, sorry. I know I said I wouldn't be critical, but that accent...
Well, you don't like equality, yeah? And I'm gonna keep doing this for like another minute, yeah? Joe has this thing he does where he's too afraid to make the stance himself that being gay is wrong is a joke. So he goes up to 2 dudes and says that other people are saying that they're making PDA.
People have been complaining around here, saying that you've been public affection. What's
the problem with public affection?
Not happy with it.
Not happy with it?
No.
Like, what form of public affection? Like, if it's, you know, having sexual intercourse in the street, I guess that, yeah. But if it's not anything like that, then I made a video on this before where it's like the double standard. How can you be like, oh, I don't like that, and then I have like 2 straight couples discussing, that's fine there, but yeah, no, I don't like that, you're holding hands. It's like, they're okay, that's just, no. You can have a policy where you don't particularly like, you know, things of public affection, but you can have that sparingly with group. It has to be blanket like over everyone, including yourself.
keep to their own business.
Yeah, I know. Listen. I'm on your side, right? But there's people been complaining. I've just got to make sure that people are okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But why would you have to make sure people are okay? Like, if people are being homophobic, you don't have to listen to them. Like, obviously, he's the one being homophobic, but, you know, if other people are being... You don't have to actually listen to the homophobic. You can just be like, yeah, sure, I'll talk to the guys. No, why the fuck would I talk to them? Like, fuck that.
So anyway, feminism.
Oh. They respond in a really great way, making Joe look like an idiot, and all he can do is go, wait, I'm on your side, yeah? Someone else just said it. I'm with you guys. I'm so confused why someone would say that. I'm just trying to have a laugh with you, yeah? And then he just runs off. So far, this isn't really trolling feminists. It's just annoying and harassing people who are just trying to go about their day. He decides to do the same thing to a poor woman who's just talking on the phone, and she insists that he leaves her alone, and of course he doesn't.
Are you on the phone? Can I ask the phone question?
No.
One question.
No.
One question. Feminism. She doesn't believe in feminism.
No, maybe she just doesn't believe in a man harassing her on the street. Oh, wait.
Now, this is the part of the script where I realize that Joe's definitely going to see this because he doesn't have big enough of an audience to not see it. And I already know what he's going to say in response. It was just a bloody joke. Yeah, you can understand that.
Please. Don't do the accent.
Just a few blokes going to have a chump around in the city with people. Yeah, it's just a harmless joke. To which I reply, that's not really a great defense.
Yeah.
If it's a joke.
The it's a joke excuse is pretty bad. You know, it can effectively get you out of anything. I mean, you know, you could commit genocide and be like, yeah, no, it's just a joke with my friends, the lads, yeah. We were like down the pub and we said like, sure, why not kill a bunch of people, like wipe out an entire ethnic group, and we said that, so we just thought that, you know, it'd be a good laugh, like, you know. No, that wasn't funny. But no, me and the lads found it funny, like, so surely it's fine, like, you know the way. Sure, it should fine, like, right? No, it's not fine, like, come on. How is it fine? No, it's not okay just because you found it funny. That means you're a sadistic little shit. That's an insight into your mind. That's what the prosecution would bring up in a court case. Like, this found it funny when they did this. What kind of a psychopath finds it funny? Like, even the most conservative people can often admit, oh no, this isn't, I don't find this the correct way. I just think this makes us the most money. So ultimately, that's the way we'll do things because it benefits us the most. I mean, it's at the cost of others, yes, but you know, ultimately, it's not the cost of us. So yeah, that attitude is there. So it's just a joke. It's just a terrible argument.
I should be laughing right now, right? Or someone should at least. But instead, all the people who aren't 13-year-old boys are confused what the video...
Not even just 30, like, no, I would say there are probably a good few grown men who watch that and have a good laugh themselves. Because, you know, they're most likely incels. And they're depressed is the thing. So ultimately, if you're depressed, it's funny to laugh at the thing you blame for your depression, and that can be a good thing if that thing is actually the cause of your depression. But oftentimes it's just not. So you know, with incels, they actually like to laugh at that sort of thing. But of course, that's not what causes the depression. It's it's them being incel.
Videos about in the first place. Especially if you're gonna shove a microphone in someone's face, at least make them laugh. This dude is 18 years old and he can't come up with a better joke than, I'm gonna go up to someone and be annoying. Luckily, we do have our leftist king to save the day here with just one simple word.
Communism.
What are your views on feminism?
Well, it's an interesting question.
It is an interesting question.
What are you recording this for?
Feministtv.com.
Holy crap, that was an epic joke. He just said...
We just full on lying. I think that's illegal, actually.
that he's filming this video for feministtv.com? So let's break this down. It's actually funny because he's not doing that, and he made that up. Do you get it? With that, let's watch Snowy Joe make fun of a woman who doesn't speak English by confusing her because she doesn't speak English.
Excuse me, we're actually here with the BBC 3 documentary. BBC
Another lie.
3Q. We're doing a documentary on feminism.
Okay. Me no speaking English. Me no speaking English.
You speak English?
No.
Well, I don't think Joe understands basic grammar. Like the words no and me. You know? So did you understand? You see, basically, it means that she doesn't see. See, the word no, what that means is it's negative. So she doesn't. So you see, I know it's complicated. You only learn this in like you know, the first year of school. And you know, I would, well, maybe not.
Anyway, we're here with the BBC 3 documentary. Feminism. What are your views on feminism? If you could just speak to the camera about feminism.
No understand you me. No
Yeah, just speak to the camera.
¿Qué hablo? ¿Qué te digo?
So after Snowy Joe spent 70% of this video trolling feminists when he's actually just talking to normal people on the street, he decided to join a feminist Discord server with his pals to troll the women. First, they jumped in a voice call with someone who was willing to teach them more about the movement.
Welcome to the Discord server. Thank you for wanting to learn about feminism.
Yes, we are so ready for this lesson on feminism.
After we hear Joe make that awesome impatient feminist joke that we heard earlier in that TikTok, he starts complaining when this girl actually tries to teach him about feminism, and then he tries to make a joke about what gender technology would be and if computers should have the same rights as humans.
Now the ice was broken, she started talking about boring feminist stuff. Everything was equal rights, blah blah.
You're on a Discord. That's like going on a Discord for food and then being like, these people are obsessed with food. That's the point. It's not a good idea to make fun of something when your idea is they kept going on about it. If you're gonna make fun of it and you've joined a community where they talk about that thing, the thing you're making fun of shouldn't be they keep talking about it. That's the point. It should be the thing. But ultimately, that would just be straight up sexism.
Blah blah. You say everything is equal, yeah, what about technology? Do they have the same rights as humans?
Yeah, what gender is Google?
Google is a company. It's a company. It's a construct of capitalism. You know? The idea that you have a thing, and ultimately, once again, gender is a social construct, so you know, whatever gender the people who made the company want the company to be called. It's kind of obvious, isn't it? It's like, what name is Google? It's Google. That's what the people who named the company named it.
Google. A woman, because it won't let you finish a sentence without suggesting some random shit, do you know what I mean?
Oh, just full-on generalization.
And they know everything.
Excuse me?
Yeah, and they have
What's with the quotation marks? Also, it's not know everything, it's suggesting articles where the person who's writing the article says that they know everything. You know, ultimately, it's a search engine, so, you know, it would be like if I said, oh, you want to learn about space? Talk to Patrick here. Patrick knows a ton about space. You wouldn't say, I know everything about space. No, you'd say, Patrick knows everything about it. Because you see, I'm telling you to go to Patrick's. It's very simple.
A search bar. Because the females are going to have the same rights as males do. Our iPhones should have them too, right? That makes sense. That's funny. That's the kind of logic that Snowy Joe's brain comes up with when he wants to make a funny to this poor girl. Joe decides to give us a voiceover of what happened in this conversation instead of actually showing the proof of it.
The girl waffled on 15 minutes and gave us a speech, and as a radical feminist, she said some mad stuff.
Men shouldn't have the option to keep their last name. They should also...
You're subtitling it and making cuts. Interesting.
automatically take the woman. The world would be better without men, let's be honest.
He tells us she waffled
Yeah, that would probably be true.
on for 15 minutes about feminism, and then he just played these really quick clips about things that she believed, but it was pretty obvious that he just clipped them out of context because he would cut off anything she said before or after this belief she had.
This radical feminist just said the world would be better without men to 3 men. This girl was tapped.
Yeah. Like someone saying the world would be better without Nazis. It would. Do you understand? You could, and they said it to 3 Nazis. Look at them. See? It's
this radical feminist just said the world would be better without men to 3
Nazis. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously. Why does it matter if I mean, yeah.
This girl was tapped. Without men, the world can no longer be a thing.
What? The world is a planet. It's a planet. Without men, this world wouldn't be in the state it is now. You know, warming up and killing species. You know? So yes, the world will be better without men. Clearly.
Population will decrease and
well, that's what happens when people die, for God's sake.
No one would live on the earth if...
What are you talking about? Are they going to go to space?
Men weren't here. You need a man to make people. This...
Well, no, you don't technically need a man to make people, but... You know.
This girl was basically saying she wants everyone to die.
No. Everyone will die. Like, do you understand? Once again, like if that person is in the basement and they're cutting off your leg and then they just let all the blood bleed out, you're dead now. Bye-bye. You're dead. That's the thing. Now, that isn't someone saying, oh, they want you to die. No, that's just a fact. You're going to die.
She's not only a radical feminist, she is a murderer and should be
That's not murder. You know, even if you think it should be murder, it's not murder in the legal sense.
Ashamed of herself. So we did the only right thing.
What? Just like, yes, you brutally murdered all those children. You should be ashamed yourself. Go sit in the corner, you bold boy. I mean, I think you should get a little bit hard on that. They should be more than just ashamed of themselves. What the f*** is this attitude?
Enough of pretending to be a feminist. Us 3 did the only thing we are good at.
Oh.
Trolling.
Joe goes on this crazy rant about how the world wouldn't be here without men and how men are the only way the world would survive. And then he concluded his statements by saying that he decided to drop the act and start trolling. Epic 18-year-old move, trolling, you know? Everyone loves trolling, right? Troll-lo-lo-lo-lo. You guys remember that? It's so funny. Then he calls his friend Skinny R-word, which is...
Oh, okay.
I don't have anything to say about that.
Now you're probably thinking that this guy's a retard and skinny and wondering why he always wears a coat inside.
Well, let's break that down. I don't know his height, so I wouldn't know about his height or if he's slow growing or not. Next, he's skinny because he doesn't eat as much as other people. I mean, that's obvious. Or maybe a medical condition. And the coat, well, that would be because maybe it's cold inside and, you know, they want to be warm. So, yeah, that was a pointless debunking of...
Truly has a way with words, doesn't he? So that's the end of that video. But he's so confident about how funny the last one was that he decides to make another video called I Destroyed a Radical Feminist.
Oh.
My British accent's getting kind of better. In this video, he goes back to that Discord server with even more friends, and I mean more friends, trust me, to chat with one of these Discord mods. He starts the video by immediately calling the girl autistic and then telling his viewers, hey, you'll become autistic too if you watch this.
I went back onto the server and luckily she was in a voice chat. Boys and girls, what you're about to witness is autism at its finest. You may lose chromosomes and become part of children need after this.
Then the call starts with that TikTok we saw earlier in the video where they're making fun of her for explaining genders to them. This girl, Katie, tries to explain the gender spectrum to...
Yeah. Let's see what they result of this.
Them, and they all just yell over her. She agrees to have a talk with them, which of course follows with about 10 different British teenagers just yelling over her. Because everyone knows the best way to own someone is just by being louder than them.
Katie, do you want to have a talk, love? Do you want to have a little talk? So I
Yeah,
can't...
Joe, I will have a conversation with you, and I will...
Let us put our
I don't know.
cameras on.
And this is set up as some sort of debate. Everyone loves a debate, and I'm sure since Joe is the one who initiated it and felt the need to...
I really hope that she has a mute button to mute the fucking morons. I hope so, but, you know.
To bring his whole boy band with him. And I'm not kidding, look at how many people are actually in this call. He should be prepared to absolutely destroy her with logic and facts. Now, Katie makes the point that Joe just harasses people in his videos, which he absolutely does. His content is just built on going to the streets and making bad jokes to civilians who are just going about their day. So what do you think his response is? Well, I'll just let the conversation speak for itself.
Because I watched your video, and guess what? All you do is harass people, you lie about the server.
You gave him the watch time.
You gave me the watch time, you gave me the engagement, you put me in the algorithm and got me views. So you look...
View singular. And no, big shocker. One person watching your video does not put you in the algorithm. Trust me there. Like, trust me. I know that. And I think this is ultimately the problem with people who either gained the popularity many years ago before the algorithm shifted, or who gained their popularity on another site, you know, let's say, you know, whatever social media site it is, and then brought their audience over there. Now, generally, it's a fairly small audience in comparison to, you know, the audience they have on the other social media site, but generally you can build on it. So the point is, that's not how the algorithm works. When one person views my video, I don't get loads more views. Majority of my videos, I get one view and then that's it.
You look silly, Katie. You look like a silly little girl.
What? What was that?
Guys, let Katie speak.
Say please, otherwise I'm not gonna freaking speak.
You just spoke. You look silly.
I'm not gonna speak until you say please.
Right, you're clearly speaking right now. I don't know what...
No, I'm not gonna ask.
You see, okay, so... You know, let's say I'm giving a nice little speech, and someone says to me, "We're actually not going to pay you for this," and I say, "But I had to get a plane. I had to go into debt to come here. I kind of need the money to do the speech. Otherwise, I'll be in debt." And then, you know, they say, well, no. And then I say, "Well, I'm not going to do the speech, you know, until." You know, you pay me, or until you agree to pay me, and then they say, no, we're not, but I'm not going to speak until you pay me. And they're like, "But you are speaking, not." I'm not doing the fucking speech, though, am I? I'm not doing the talk. Okay, I'm not telling you the stuff, am I? God's sake, basic grammar. I mean.
Actually have a conversation with you.
Joe's whole brand is being 5 years younger than he actually is, and he refuses to talk to someone and actually show them that he's in the right by actually talking to them. Since his content is just fart jokes and yelling, the best he can do is argue like a schoolgirl at recess.
The fact that your server people are coming in,
it was legendary, by the way.
it just proves that you're not
Thank
as
you, man.
intelligent
Appreciate
as
it.
I am.
Legend.
You're not.
In her own server, someone said my video was legendary.
What? You're talking to Jesus Christ. Imagine like a celebrity going like, "Yeah, here's all my fans, and yeah, I mean, in this reporter's person when I brought all my fans here, one of the people said my acting is amazing. See, in the reporter's own press conference that I invited all my fans to. Was it one of my fans that said, yeah? One of the fans I invited, yeah, it was, yeah. That wouldn't have been there, yeah, they wouldn't have been there if I didn't invite. Yeah, you know, like, that's one of your fans. Fuck.
You do know that anyone can join that Discord server, right? So your friend just joined the Discord server to say that your video is legendary. That's not an own. You just look like a self-obsessed loser.
Yeah.
Katie goes on to actually make Joe kind of look like an idiot and just straight up says, I'm smarter than you.
You're not as intellectually superior as I am. I'm actually way smarter than you. I have
You're 11. You are 11 years old.
No, I'm not.
What the you think that they're... Okay. You're an 18-year-old. Okay, that's concerning. You might be arrested sometime, or at least put on a watch list, because that kind of talk. Also, yes, they're right. Because, I mean, unless he's acting very, very stupid, but, you know, you don't need to act that stupid. I mean, it's a feat if he is.
I'm not, I'm 24.
And all Joe can say is that she's 11 years old. If she's 11 years old, you really look dumb right now, Joe.
Hey, I don't care. George Floyd, what are you saying?
You ain't saying no.
What was that?
So for you to compare me to SpongeBob, you're just...
Awesome, a George Floyd Fortnite joke. Very classy. Now the rest of this video is Snowy Joe and his friends picking on this poor girl in this Discord server without showing his face, and then making half the jokes he has off screen. And I already know what Joe's gonna say if he sees this. He's gonna go, so you agree with Katie that SpongeBob is ableist propaganda and you think it's normal for her friend to pray over a photo of her, yeah? No, of course I don't co-sign every quote you took out of context from this Discord call, but you can't make content weeding out strangers online and in the streets and then pretend like you're superior for just interviewing them and then making fun of them off camera. It's such a weird stance to take, to go to someone who didn't attack you in the first place and berate them with 20 other teenage boys and then make it into content for more teenage boys to laugh at. Watch this clip right here and just let me know what it reminds you of.
Katie, your whole voice channel hates you, Katie. Everyone hates Katie.
Okay.
Suicide is free. I actually hope you die.
I got a story once where the government initiates a policy in which if you do that kind of thing, you get punished with murder charges. It was an interesting one. It went places. And people were arrested, like this fella, for murder. Because that's what you're doing. If that person does go and do what you are asking them to do, you are murdering them. You are a murderer. And unlike, what Joe seems to think a murderer is someone who doesn't think, like, what? That, people should exist. That's not murder, because people are going to die anyway. It's not murder to, for them to not exist. Loads of people don't exist, However, that is murder. You understand? That's it. So basically, that's the thing, That's murder, but then the situation in which you have someone who's like, I don't think that human beings should exist. That's not murder because they're not actually killing anyone. They're just not, making them.
I want to pay Katie money. I want to pay Katie $40 a month.
I want to pray to you. I want to pray to you.
I want to pray to Katie.
Stop.
You left-handed. Oh, you've been mugged. You've been mugged. Absolutely roast.
Likes you, Katie. You are a disgrace to the earth. Oh, she's dipped.
Yep, those are literally middle school bullies. This is an Xbox game chat of middle schoolers clowning on one person to make them feel bad about themselves. And that's what Joe prides himself on the most. But this is where it gets bad, because not only does...
And it appears that some of them are insinuating crimes of, large prison sentences. More than one of them. So, yeah.
only does Joe try to ruin her day, but he tries to ruin her entire community. He insists very specifically in his video for his fans to go to her Discord server and just spam it to hell.
The only thing you have destroyed is your Discord server, because boys and girls, in the description you will see a link, and that link will take you to her Discord server. What I want you to do is when you join it, I want you to spam SJ Army. Let her know our presence.
This fella did just full on just steal. This is a full on plagiarism. Okay, this is actually full on plagiarism. Yeah, he stole from another prank English YouTuber. Wow. 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 This is insane. He managed to turn someone who, you know, is trying to fight racism into someone who's trying to fight feminism. Okay, that is a concerning thing.
I want this girl to be stressed out and surprised by us lot.
That's over 300,000 people seeing this message, and not just leaving dislikes and comments on some random person's video, but trying to destroy everything they've worked for and all the friends they have. And the best part about it all is that Joe has his own Discord server public in the description of his YouTube video right here. And boy, would I love to say that I'm going to be the bigger man and not press that nuclear bomb. But I can't just watch this video and not feel like I have the golden opportunity to give someone a taste of their own medicine. I mean, this dude unprompted did this to someone who didn't do a thing to deserve it, so why shouldn't he have the same thing happen to him? But I mean, I just can't do that in good conscience, right? So in the description below, I'm gonna put the link to his Discord server so our community can make sure we avoid it. We don't want to cause any trouble, stress Joe out. I would hate to do that. So just make sure, guys, under any circumstance, you do not go to the description below, you don't join the Discord server, and please don't spam Joe with a taste of his own medicine. Guys, I'm begging you. I would hate for anyone to click that link and join the server with some variation of the name Snowy Joe, so all the moderators are confused on who to ban when they realize that so many people decided to raid Joe's Discord server out of frustration of how dumb he really is. God, good thing we didn't do that. And don't get me wrong, Joe isn't just a feminism guy. I don't want to pretend that he isn't capable of other forms of comedy. I mean, that would be rude to not point out his versatility. We have a funny TikTok here where he pretends to speak Chinese to Asian people.
Is this shit what about? Is this shit what about? Do I speak Chinese?
Another one where he makes a joke about Jewish people being afraid of gas ovens. And not to mention his slew of TikToks making jokes.
Oh, he is a Nazi.
It's about overweight people.
You've seen better days, I hope. Oh dear. You know when you got two friends and there's a pretty one and an ugly one? Yeah, she's both of them. Can't get a boyfriend. You know, you will find a boyfriend. A lot of guys actually like fat people. Lazy buggers, you know, one push and they can ride the ripple. If you see
God. And a lot of people hate you.
A fat person surrounded by pigs and
like your kind of person.
Burgers, and you go, you know what's making you fat, don't you? They don't want to go with, is it all the running? That they know. That's why the word fat is not an insult. You're so fat. When you fall down the stairs, I thought EastEnders was ending.
Oh. What? What are you... what?
Oh, and his weird fascination with pedophile jokes.
Text of two people of combined age of 30. What age are you picking? High one will be my age, 18. And then the other one, make her 12.
Atrocious at rapping.
Sound like you have speech impediment. Does your girlfriend know that she's an experiment? She's wasting time with you, and that's the T. Would you look at that? She follows me. Man, your hair is back in 2003. Your girl is the biggest slut I've ever seen. How you letting her be called a public figure? She must smell from all that gonorrhea.
I mean, this guy's hanging on to the beat for dear life, and that flow, it's giving me secondhand embarrassment.
A night down the pub with your mates and it's fucking mental. A move from the pub to the club for some awesome sounds.
Oh god.
And then finally he just made this school shooter joke that makes no sense whatsoever.
You know, I've killed you, I've shot you, and now you're supposedly trying to come back alive, but it's not going to happen because you're dead.
All this to say that the reason I...
Wow. I don't think YouTube like that.
The reason I made this video was to show you guys how pathetic some people on the internet are. You can make fun of a goofy person all you want, but every once in a while you'll come across someone who has so little backbone that they seem to flail at every shot taken their way.
Yeah.
Snowy Joe is a teenage boy stuck in the body of a guy who got lucky with a YouTube career that he shouldn't have. People shouldn't look up to this guy as an example of how they should treat others, because the moment you poke at the logic that is Snowy Joe's comedic career, it falls apart like soggy fish and chips on the London Bridge on a Sunday afternoon after tea with the Queen. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, remember that it's freaking free to subscribe. Over 50% of the people watching my videos in the past month aren't even subscribed, which is awesome, because that means that we have so many new people checking out the channel. But in order to see a new video every single Monday, you gotta hit that subscribe button, and you gotta ring that bell. I also have a second channel where I post a shorter video every single day. That's right, every day. We have highlights from my Twitch stream over at twitch.tv/nickisnotgreen, just some shorter commentary videos, and sometimes I goof around with my cat. Also, social media. Everything is at nickisnotgreen. Make sure you follow me. I'm always sharing goofy stuff about my life and updating you on new content. And finally, thank you for 300,000 subscribers. YouTube is the absolute dream, and I'm so happy that I can share a video with you every single day. I'm so happy to share these laughs with you, and I hope I can do it forever. I love you all. Have a great week. Goodbye.
Okay, so I'm just gonna take a little look at the Niko video, which I think he's full-on plagiarized. Not Nick, I mean Joe. So yeah, Joe is an absolute horrible human being. Nick, go ahead, check out his content.
Finally, though, I created a YouTube channel called EDL TV.
So see here, this is basically so you created EDL TV, and also look at that, Snowy Joe created a channel for oh my god, look at that, trans rights. That's fucked up.
Suspicious, I needed a decoy to make people believe I'm part of them. So this is where the Transgender Pride official YouTube channel was born. Now,
wow! Imagine that. It looks like we have a little copycat on our hands.
Wearing the shirts and we're about to go join him on the march. Alright, I'm actually proper nervous.
Alright boys, we are geared up, ready for the march. Alright, I'm ready for this. I'm
petrified, absolutely petrified. That link will take you to her Discord server. What I want you to do is when you join it, I want you to spam SJ Army. Let her know our presence.
And this is Niko's video.
So you know what I've done? I've started the Niko Defense League. Join now.
So yeah, one person sets up a group that fights racism, and the other one sets up a group that spreads misogyny and attacks women. Yeah. Well, sorry Nick, for being the source of such a horrible human being idea. But you know, it's not on you, I guess. So you know. Anyway, thank you for watching.